Now, Cyprus, a country that has been split since 1974, an island that many of us know as a popular holiday destination, bathed in Mediterranean sun, not overshadowed by a history of conflict and division. UN peacekeeping forces estimate that 165,000 Greek Cypriots fled or were expelled from the north, and 45,000 Turkish Cypriots from the south during the conflict. Others say the figures are much higher. Greece and Turkey are now working towards the reunification of the island, with talks in Geneva bringing the two sides tantalisingly close to a deal. But there will be many sticking points during the negotiations. Selin Girit has this report from the island.
There is something very eerie about this place. This used to be the main international airport in Cyprus. Now it's been abandoned for over 40 years. I'm in the middle of the buffer zone. To the south, there's Greek Cyprus. To the north, Turkish Cyprus. In between, wasteland. Nicosia is Europe's last divided city. Its ghost airport, a monument to the scars it bears. In 1974, a Greek-inspired military coup in the south was met with a Turkish invasion of the north. The war didn't last long, but has led to almost half a century of ethnic division. The internationally recognized Greek Cypriot government controls the south of the island, while Turkish Cypriots control the northern third. It was in the north I met Abdullah Cangil. The 66-year-old Turkish Cypriot lives in the border town of Morphu. But the house was not always his. The 60s and 70s saw hundreds of thousands forced to relocate. Abdullah was one of them, moved north in a population exchange.
You are taken from your house, from your village, and you are being moved to some unknown town. Of course, it was a tragedy for us.
Like many people living in Morphu, he was given a house that used to belong to a Greek Cypriot family. The Geneva talks could see the town change hands, and people like Abdullah forced out. Despite nearly half a century here, he is remarkably philosophical.
I can't say that I will be so sad to give the house to the real owners. I don't want my children to live the wars that we have lived. So it is more important to find a solution, to find the peace, than to move from a house to another. Yani ömrüm yeterse, buradan bir yere gidersem ben gene yaparım.
He tells me if I have to move out from here, I will have another garden in the new home that I make.
But his attitude is not shared by everyone in Morphu. For some, any change will be painful and bitterly opposed.
We came here looking for soldiers.
A few miles down the road, at an Orthodox cemetery, there's a reminder that many lost more than their homes. Here, Greek and Turkish Cypriot archaeologists work side by side, digging deep trenches to find and identify people who went missing during Cyprus's atrocities. They have already dug out the remains of 25 people from unmarked graves.
It's a big deal for both communities, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. And by finding these people, you are delivering them back to the families so they can have a proper burial, they can have their family visiting the grave, and so this trauma will close. I mean, it will heal.
Once bodies are found, they are brought here. At the lab of the Committee of Missing People, the process of identification continues.
The skull was very fragmented. Sometimes it takes a long time to reconstruct all those small pieces. At the end, I think we have a good result. So far, we have identified about 720 individuals from both communities. And the total number of the missing people is about 2,000. So we are almost at the halfway.
But that means over 1,000 still lie in the Cypriot soil.
If there was no coup, was there an invasion?
One of them is Kyriakos Solomi's younger brother George. He was killed on the front line.
He was a very peaceful man. He was a nice, good-looking young man, 24 years old. This is a very deep wound which will stay there. The wound may close, but the big scar will stay there until the affected people die. And I don't believe a solution will come in the next. If they start changing the education system, if they start changing the church here, even now they are spreading hate instead of love.
But hope does remain.
Kıbrıslı Türk, Rum, Kıbrıslı Rumlar. So what we have here is exceptional if you think of what this country has been like in the past. Half of this table is Turkish Cypriot and the other half Greek Cypriot. They are drinking their traditional drink, zibania, and toasting to the future of their country.
This is not the last chance for peace. We, the new generation, we create the peace.
I am waiting for this, like all of my life. I'm so excited and at the same time I'm too emotional.
This time youth, they woke up from the 10 years sleeping, and now it's time for us to have a change in our island.
In Geneva, a game of diplomacy is on. Which move to make, what to give, what to take. Here in Cyprus, the hope is neither side loses.